Hello and welcome to this edition of Pimp My Diecasts, where we are going to be restoring the Matchbox Superfast Renault 17 TL. And it's actually quite a good one, so we're going to be we're not going to be doing any painting on this, apart from lacquer to seal the decal in, because it's in quite good condition. But it's a bit of a mystery, this one. It's obviously a bit play worn, but there's no windscreen in it. So I have to wonder, did the kid take it out, or was it never in the first place? I bought a beat up version off the old internet, off the DB. Like, it's ghost and beyond salvation, but it has a window unit. It was only £1 or so it's a relatively simple resto. Anyway, away we go. First things first, drill the brain. Base off all you're aiming to do is break the bridge round the edge, break it so it breaks the seal, then the base pops off. That's all we're aiming at. Basically, all you need is a drill bit that's a little bit wider. Take the base off the donor vehicle, the windscreen donor. All the drill needs to be is a tiny bit wider, so you just break that ridge round the edge, trying not to damage the base. You'll always get a bit of a scuff while you're drilling, unless you're really lucky. Anyway, at this point, we're going to be drilling the posts. I'm drilling them to 1.7mm. I used to use 1.5, but you break a lot of taps with 1.5mm drills. When you're tapping up to 2mm, you'll break a lot of taps because it's hard work turning them into it. And they don't take a lot. To snap them, because the case hardened steel. They're hard, so they have no flexibility and snap. What makes metal good at one thing doesn't make it good at others. If it hadn't been hardened, you wouldn't break it as much. It's all to do with the carbon content, I think. If I remembered when I'd used to work in metal hardening, well, heat treatment they call it. Anyway, I've done it to 1.7 because the actual tapping after is much easier. Far less of a chore. It just goes in like butter. You still get your screw threads, and it's just be careful when you actually put your screws in. You don't actually ride them in too hard, because you don't want to strip the threads. There we go, and we just cutting a decal down because we don't need, well, the actual body doesn't need paint as such. I'm leaving it original paint. I've stripped off the paper decal I just put it in hot water and rubbed it. Then what glue were left, I removed with meths. You could use IPA just as successfully, I'd guess. I couldn't make up my mind whether I bought the 6 or 9. I don't think it matters to a degree. You're going to move it around the bonnet anyway to get the angles you desire. I think I've got it right way up. I think I bought 6. You never know though. Don't matter, all I want is the stripe and A number. It don't matter whether it's the 6 or the 9. I'm just gonna... I've put a new blade on so it's extra sharp. If you use older blades with decals, you can tear them. You're better off with a brand new blade if you're cutting through decals. And here I'm just putting a coat of lacquer on the body. And there I'm doing some black on the bumper. Well, bumpers. And here I'm using silver water so to buff down the screen. It's good kit, silver water salt. There we go. And here we go, we're dipping it into the polish. And I'm also dipping the base. I dipped it, then spun it round, spun the excess off. And here the dashboards come away from the actual base and interior. So we're super gluing it back in. Just to make sure. It must be a reasonably easy bit that falls off this model, because to be honest, my other one didn't have it on. So even if it had still had the screen and I needed the dash. But yeah, we're putting it together. Put window in, then the interior, then the base. Then as I go to screw it in, one remembers I haven't tapped it. The senility is real. And there we go. Tapping the base. Put a little bit of grease on the tap. Make the job a bit easy, and there we go. All 3 are done. So we'll have another go at fitting the base. And here we go. There we go, you don't have to go mad. And for the front one, the head had gone through. I just checked the head size there. And it had gone through, so because it's a bigger rivet. So I get one of my washers out my box. And put it to use. There we go. Anyway, here we go. This is... Let's go back to where we started. And we can see a pair. One pretty good condition, but without a windscreen and bonnet decal. And the other one's had a very hard life. Been trashed by a kid. But it had a window unit. Anyway, here's everything together. And happy days. Lovely little build. It's only a quick one. I did drill through. I did just come through when I were doing posts on front and back. I'm going to have to start depth gauging them. But it's passable. I could have put a little bit of filler in and dabbed a little bit of orange paint on, but hey ho. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, please subscribe and tatty pie.